All right, and we just made it into the park. We've got 6 hours, and with, you know, Woody's being our thing, that's the move first, Gold Striker. So Ghost Rider, not as good as I thought it was going to be. That drop off the mid-course is insane. I don't think it helped that the ride-op stapled me, but it still runs like a CCI. That's what I really like about it. It doesn't feel like a GCI, even though it has those Millennium Flyers. I think we're going to do Hang Time next, which is the last Gerstlauer that we have not ridden in the in North America, actually. Super short line, especially for a Gerstlauer.
Hell no!
So now the best Gerstlauer I've ridden, definitely a top 3, not better than Monster though by a long shot. That first drop is loaded with ejector, I absolutely love it. You get a great view of accelerator up there. At first I think it's a non-inverting loop. That actually gives a great amount of air time, but aside from that it's pretty forceless. The inversions aren't really intense. I don't know, not my cup of tea. We're gonna do accelerator now, and I've been hyped for this since I was about 10 years old. All right, and there it is, the coaster that made Knott's catch my eye 11 years ago as a young Cedar Point fanboy.
You get back hands down, feet on the ground, and enjoy your ride.
And for that being 20 years old and almost a prototype, that thing was incredible. It's a very short layout, but it packs a punch. That launch is one of the best I've ever experienced. You get so much airtime on that top hat, and you get some decent laterals running the rest of the layout. Again, it's not the most diverse or the longest layout, but Knott's has a really good top 3 with that anchoring the top, or number 1 spot. Now for one of the few remaining Schwarzkopf shuttle loops. Alright, that thing is so good with how old it is. It's so ahead of its time. That flywheel launch is actually surprisingly forceful. It really reminds me of like a mini Mr. Freeze. Again, this is about 40 years before that, but you wouldn't even tell. Great classic ride. Alright, we've got all of our credits, so now it's just time for re-rides until 4. And we're going to start that off with Accelerator. A very impressive ride for being a prototype. Usually I'm always extremely biased to the Woodies, but I think Accelerator might actually be my favorite coaster here. The launch is just so intense, you get so much airtime on the top hat. One of the few chop hats I've seen actually provide something. And honestly, I think this is the better Accelerator coaster to King Ka and Top Thrill Dragster. Dragster, the launch is somewhat as intense, but there's next to no airtime on the top of the top hat. and that's the big difference for it. That, it's got a little bit more of a layout. The layout doesn't really, do much except for get you back to the station, but still it's nice to have a longer ride. And it does feel so fun just flying through the rest of it. So now we're gonna get one more ride in on Hang Time, one more in on Ghost Rider now that they've both warmed up for the day. Fortunately, we're not gonna have time for night rides with us doing Vegas tonight, but we've got a huge California trip planned here in about 2 weekends. We'll definitely get night rides here then. All right, one more ride on Ghost Rider before we head back to Vegas. I really feel like that didn't live up to the hype. It's supposed to be an elite wooden coaster, especially with that huge structure, and it just didn't live up to it. Now we're making a quick pit stop, and then we'll be on our way to Big Apple Coaster.